Yeah, I do have a story to open us up this episode. I don't have any sort of comment on the story, just that it's a true thing that happened to me that I shared with Strawbz, and I think the world should know, just so that they can be wary and watchful out there. I was having a trip, just a real quick trip, busy with family stuff. The second we hit the ground in LA, we go get some dinner, and what do we see outside of the place we're having dinner, parked, on the street, but a fully decaled Shadow the Hedgehog Cybertruck. It was shocking. It was confusing because I don't think really Shadow and Elon would quite get along.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I see them being a brand match, but I was like, oh my God, this is some LA shit. And we weren't able to get a good photo of it because we were sitting eating dinner. But actually, we were like, oh, well, we'll still send that picture to Strawbz because she had to see this. As a brain rotted internet girly, she had to see this. When we walk out of that dinner shop, the Cybertruck is actually just pulling out and driving down the street. It's right there. And so Mr. B, my husband, runs, belly full of ramen, runs down the street to get a photo of this car so he can send it to Strawbz.
Like Naruto in his prime.
No, for real.
Belly full of soup.
So full. And he did it. He got that picture, and it's an iconic picture. If you're watching on the YouTube, I'll flash an image of this Shadow the Hedgehog Cybertruck right now, but it will curse you, so don't look if you don't want to be cursed.
I think what's so funny to me about that picture is that you can see through the tinted windows the driver staring at your husband as he just gets this picture.
I think that if you're gonna drive around in a Shadow the Hedgehog Cybertruck, people be looking.
People are gonna take pictures.
Yeah, so just be careful out there, guys. If you see the Shadow the Hedgehog Cybertruck in your rear view mirror, that probably means that death is nigh or something. So be careful. That omen is out there.
It's one of the 4 horsemen
on the streets. Yeah, that's the steed, and the guy inside, I don't know, bringing war.
Welcome to the Bee and the Berry.
I'm Bee.
And I'm Strawberry.
And I'm Lorenzo. Oops.
Good. No, that's really good, Lorenzo. That's how we should do it. When guests come on. That's right. It's the Bee and the Berry and Lorenzo for today.
Hi.
Because we have a really cool guest on, Lorenzo Hall, comic book writer in general, many mediums, has written novels, has written scripts. Right?
Indeed.
For comic books, I guess.
Yes.
And was an educator and now a super cool member of the fandom. Welcome to the pod, Lorenzo.
Hi, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Lorenzo, I heard that you were trying to visit the pizza parlor next to us, a recommendation of Gigi.
Indeed. Well, you know.
I'm sorry we're not the pizza parlor, but we can order some.
Alas. Well, hey, there's still no topping this experience.
Hey, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you're already punning. Just like...
Sorry, was that too cheesy?
Oh my god, so good. What the fuck?
Hey, I just got that sauce. I'll stop here.
B, I didn't warn you about this, but Lorenzo is incredibly punny.
Yes, I knew this. And actually, I was going to bring this up because, of course, I follow Lorenzo on Blue Sky, as you all should. And a big part of the Lorenzo content that you're going to get on Blue Sky is a lot of puns, which I guess is on brand. You're a wordsmith.
Indeed. I just have so much fun with it, and you get to see everybody's reactions. Like, when you have that specific brain rot where you have words on the back of your mind all the time, you think about how they sound and how they connect, you find all these little ways to just have fun with the language. And not everyone's going to have the same kind of fun, but it's great.
No, I love it. Witticisms, wordplay.
Indeed.
I mean, shall we just get into it? Shall we start asking you questions? Shall we start plumbing the depths of your knowledge and wisdom?
Oh, I'm not sure you'll find much there. It's a shallow pool, but I'll be ready.
Oh my God, so humble, so nice. Strawbz, do you ever like stop and think about how through this podcast we get to talk to just like the coolest, kindest people?
We do. We have amazing guests on the Be in the Berry podcast, actually. Every single guest has been wonderful.
Blown away.
We love having you.
Yeah. Let's see where to begin. I mean, I think that the easiest place to sort of jump into somebody with such an interesting and extensive creative history as you, Lorenzo, is asking you about, your origin story. What's, when are the things, the moments you can remember in the timeline that sort of solidified that you were on the path to become a writer? What pieces of media did you encounter that like really changed you? What moments or things that you released or tried really made you feel like this is what you wanted to do with your life, was be a writer?
Well, let's see. I'm ready to answer that. If we're going by what I remember, I'm going to have to skip the hospital in 1993 and go all the way to when I was like, I want to say 6 years old. Believe it or not, I actually had trouble reading early on. Just like a lot of kids, it's trying to get people to sit down, invest. You might discover that's still a problem even today. But one of the things was I had a grandmother who was very kind, and we had a Nintendo 64 system. And Ocarina of Time was new at the time. Very fun. Legend of Zelda, all that. But one of the things was I didn't know how to read at the time, and my grandmother had a deal where I could play it as long as I could read the lines out to her on weekdays, because at the time we could only play on weekends. Over time I got into it, and eventually it's like as I got an appreciation of who these people were and what was going on, it became really fun, to the point it was a little distracting in school and I had to hear about it. But that was probably where that appreciation for storytelling started. And then as I grew, I started reading more. I did your usual books, The Once and Future King, a few of the YA stories that were popular at the time, some each better than others, I'll say that much. Let's see. And then I eventually decided when I was 14, I really wanted to write because I was just given a creative writing assignment in my English course, and I found myself really having fun with it.
Do you remember what the assignment was?
Yes, it was to make a 3-page story. I just need to make sure that each page at least started on the beginning, middle, and end. There was a character named Dr. Isaac at the time who was a cyborg. He was one of my oldest creations. He's not with us anymore today. Sometimes that just happens. Characters are with you for a time, and then they go off into the ether.
Yeah.
But after that, I decided, I definitely want to write. So I went to college. While I was at university, I wound up getting my bachelor's for English and for religious studies. I had a concentration in creative writing, but at the time I thought English would just be more flexible.
Right.
Yeah. But nowadays it seems like they're all the same. But
right.
During that time, I also decided I really wanted to commit, and I worked on my first book, Desert Rain. I had the loose idea of the characters from my late high school era into college, and around the time of my senior year, I finished it. And, I had to work pretty hard to try to get it out there. I did the usual route, try to look for an agent, make sure you pitch around, all that. But easier said than done. Eventually, though, I did get it published, and I was very happy because I did that at 23, and I felt like, I did my life goal. And then you realize in real life, credits don't roll when you do the thing. You still got to do more. So naturally, my goal was, I do want to keep doing this for the rest of my life. So I tried to lock in. I did another one. I kept trying to query everything like that. And since then, I've been on the creative journey.
Dang. Ugh. And it's a tough journey, the creative journey.
Yeah.
Being a professional creative can be really, really taxing.
Just ask the IRS. But no. Yeah.
No.
I'm trying to never hear from them. But no, that's for real. Like, if you go on Blue Sky, you just see a plethora of creators from all over who are just abundantly talented, but don't get that opportunity. Like, I see so much art that would, just blow somebody away, and I'm sitting here thinking about how this person who's able to just captivate so many people is still having trouble paying bills or has day-to-day struggles they shouldn't. And it's just a failure of society, in my opinion.
Totally. Well, it's so fascinating because, so many creatives have to and want to try to work in the creative industry. And those are antithetical words to each other,
Yeah.
like they just will never be able to coexist in a way that truly feeds creatives, who are people that need to be fed by like the most beautiful sides of humanity. But industry is a thing that America made that is fed by the most diabolical things that humanity has created. So it breaks my heart. It's so hard. That's, part of my conviction of wanting to be a person in a place who can help creatives realize the things that they want to realize while still satisfying the machine that we have set up that must be satisfied. Blah. It's hard.
It is trying to make a symbiotic relationship out of a predatory one, but these are the cards we have.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to say to that is it's a very noble thing, and thank you on behalf of people who are trying, because it's very important. We have to keep art alive.
Oh my gosh.
Especially
thank you for making art. Thank I just think artists are the best.
You're
Everybody make
welcome.
art. Yeah.
Thank you guys. You guys are great. Let's see. No, but to that point, like, I'm not gonna drop names, even though I'm sure if you're listening, you know who I'm talking about. But when you have companies who would rather destroy products for tax relief instead of like actually release the things that are made, then you have to ask, at what point are you just a name that accrues money, or are you a group that makes things? And this is it's just terrible.
Yes. No, this is what I have said so many times. Like, the hardest thing about getting into the industry was learning that it is like a company that you work for. And actually, a lot of the times they are saying things like, what we're making is products.
Yes.
And that's like not true. Obviously, in order to like live a sustainable life, you do need to make money. You do need to have a way to support yourself and to keep putting that money back into other projects. But it can be so disheartening when we, operate in a society that places way more value on the ability to produce money than it is to produce the work.
Exactly.
It is unfortunately a numbers game.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, and it's just hard, I think, it's hard to like just see things that could have been just be thrown off the shelf. But also, like, there's a lot of dreams out there, and I think I actually think that's why it's like so important to just like be connected with other creatives, people who are like, who you share goals with, because like, if you guys at least like nurture each other, then like you never know where somebody is going to end up.
Yeah, totally.
That's absolutely true. But that kind of dovetails into the AI conversation too, which I know we need alternative terminology, since even saying AI gives the wrong impression of a generation machine. But definitely the human element is what makes art meaningful. I don't care how many cool people you stole pieces of this picture from. Like, if you did not make it and there's no intention, why should I care about it? Because there was no energy, no craft, no thought. And the people who make the thing are actually usually the most interesting part of the whole process. Like, in my genuine opinion. But this also goes back to what is said about you need to have your community and be there with other artists, as you two are for each other, because as you talk and exchange ideas, it just makes it more like impressive. We create to reach people, and reaching people is the biggest thing. Now, money is a nice side benefit, and we definitely need it. My mantra, going back to what was said by B, was money is the means, not the motive. Like, you need that to create the thing you want. If at the end of the day all you want is more, it's like, okay, and where's the meaning in that?
Totally. Gosh, so wise. Incredible.
Y'all too kind. Y'all too kind.
Okay. Question off of this, just to turn this, conversation into something positive and upbeat, which we touched on a little bit. Obviously, this is why I find fandom space so interesting and sacred, is just this sort of feedback of mutual inspiration for the sake of putting it out there. How do you combat the existential art dread, the creative dread, when you approach the industry, when you grind so hard, when you get shut out, when you think about the state of things and where they are going? How do you remind yourself to produce, to create, to be inspired, and how do you keep yourself going?
Let's see. I find that in my community. Very genuinely, I'm going to put my heart out there real quick. One of the things is I've had many days where I've had my own financial struggles, my own uncertainties, everything you've talked about. But there have been several occasions where I feel like despite all of that, I feel very blessed and very care about. And that's because of the community I have. Like my fellow creators, everybody who has taken time to like listen and invest in my ideas, shared their ideas with me, and just exchange our own goals. Like not everyone is trying to be industry. Some people just love to create within the fan space. Some people are true like patrons of the arts. Some people are just taken by that creative spirit and want to make no matter what. And it's just wonderful to see that mix of people, how they all interact, how they build each other up, and how we give each other resilience. As we talk about difficulties within the world, even though a lot of it is closer to home and we feel that more in certain spaces right now, it's one of the things where being able to create and inspire is part of resistance and part of building up hope. The things we create are vehicles for these ideas, for these notions, for these emotions we have. And as we share that, if it's received by somebody else, hopefully, if they're willing to take it in, they'll be able to build on that too, or maybe have their own ideas or have their own moment where they decide, hey, I want to make a change, and hopefully that will help other people. So it is communication and inspiration both in creating more things, but creating new outcomes in reality. Not to sound too highfalutin.
Dang, so good. What a great perspective. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I have another question.
Ready.
But Strawbz, I don't know if you want to jump in, if you have something else off of that.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, well, my question then is, so you talked about writing, your 3-page story with Dr. Isaac, and then you wrote some novels in college. So when did comic books become a part of your equation?
Oh, that's part of my terrible origin story. That's when I had my Sonic fan renaissance, as it were. Okay, so...
Ooh, Sonic fans, ooh.
Well, some of them are pretty cool. I've seen one or two nice ones, but
no, it's just one. It's just one cool Sonic fan, and we're gonna spend forever trying to figure out who it is out of everybody in the fandom. Who's the one cool one?
Whoever they are, they must be way past cool.
Oh.
Let me see. God. So the origin story happens in, I want to say, 2021. This was in the pandemic era. I was in my state's capital at the time, working at a college as both an instructor as well as a tutor at their academic learning center. One of the things, though, was like I was in a rut where I had the job. I was stuck in part-time, as many people are. I had enough money to pay my bills, but not to do much. And I had been spending time on and off trying to do the grind where it's like, I'll just work this job and hopefully eventually it'll build up and I'll just do my passion off to the side. Right. But I felt dissatisfied. Just if you know the education system, you know that sometimes they're more focused on outcomes than actually helping people. I had probably 2 or 3 students there who really did actually try to learn and actually grew, and I felt like I made a difference. One of them is Zach. I won't say his last name, but he's very important to me. He very recently graduated university, actually, so I'm very happy for him.
Aww, congrats, Zach.
Same year as my youngest bro. Yeah, congrats, Zach, in case you hear this. Let's see. But at that time, I felt very underappreciated. There felt like there was more pressure to be a different kind of instructor than I wanted to be, including from management. And I got fed up. This was the year that my second book, Dragon's Domain, actually came out. So it was 2021 going into 2022. I was very happy for that, but it was also just the feeling of, hey, I've worked really hard on this. It means something to me. It was another night where during the editing process, I made sure that I spent at least 2 different times just going through, rereading the entire draft of it, looking for typos, looking for consistency errors, all that. And I had to read through my own work about 3 times before I was satisfied with it. But I was really glad. But the problem is, and you run into this with original work sometimes, even though it's still critically important, and I want to circle back to that, when you release it, if there's no audience or no one to receive it, some of the time that can be a little crushing. which is why, you have your marketing and all this and that, but that's reserved for if you have industry help.
Right.
But anywho, at that time I was in a low place. I eventually decided to leave the job just because it wasn't what I really wanted to do. It was very risky at the time. Looking back, I would have made sure I had a safety net or two, but when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
But that was about the time Scrapnik Island #2 came out by Dan Barnes. I was spending my time trying to read, and for some reason I felt like that story really spoke to me when I saw it. I think he did a very excellent job. It was nice to see Mecha Sonic back, of course. But the other thing was like trying to find purpose when you feel purposeless or you feel like you're discarded. And that hit a little close to home for me at the time. Naturally, the arc wasn't concluded, but I really liked what it was doing with the characters. And I eventually reached out to him. He did get back to me, but it was only after a contact I knew from before they worked at Sonic actually talked to me, Ricardi Curry. We caught up. Ricardi was very kind, willing to rekindle the back and forth relationship. And he put me in contact with Dan Barnes, who gave me the tools that set me up to eventually make a foray into comic writing.
Cool.
Yeah. Over time from there, what happened was I got more involved in the online spaces. Blue Sky wasn't up at the time, so I was on Twitter. This was before the takeover. But, of course, it's still Twitter. So, you hits, you misses. But I had a hit when it came to some really cool people. John Gray actually eventually gave me time of day, which was very good. I met other fun people within the fan space, such as the Congressman, one of my earliest collaborators, Chris Jackson, who's another great creative, went to SCAD. Over time, they were open to helping me out where I would do my script and they would do a little bit of work. And, it was very kind. I got to see about their point of view on why they like Sonic and the different characters within. What about their approaches to their work, and then their own original ideas, which was really, really cool. Eventually, though, I met Gigi Dutre. They're very amazing, of course. Shout out to you. I'm sure you guys have heard about them. If not, check out the earlier episode of the podcast. Check out their website, all the good stuff. But we were talking about their original idea, which was called, let's see, at the time it was Aeonian Red. It's different now. And then they were also working on a different graphic novel pitch that they wanted to do. They had put it in their server, and I went through, I read it, I did the little spell checks and stuff as you do, just because it's like, somebody else is putting their heart out there, and they're very clearly passionate about this. And we hit it off from there. One thing I do want to go into, though, is and this is a back and forth. I love the fan space. I think it's amazing. You guys are going to see me post my fix about different things all the time, usually in script format. But one of the things is that there is kind of that pain that you see sometimes with creators when they work on an IP where they'll only be known for that. And then their original works, their voices that come from them, the things that they want to bring into the art world, kind of get pushed off to the side. And
Totally.
You never want to do that. You can walk and chew gum at the same time, So it's just making sure they feel seen. But me and Gigi, we built up rapport over time. They heard I wanted to break into the industry, and they gave me an offer because they had gotten approached to work on TMNT, but they were busy, so they needed a co-writer. So what happened was, I was brought on. I came up with the pitch ideas. They made sure that I got all of my details fine-tuned because I was mostly self-taught at that point, going off of things I had seen. But it was just like, okay, we need to cut a panel here. This will flow better. This feels a little too quippy for the moment, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we came up with a piece that we were really happy with called The Flame That Fuels You, starring Raphael. The other turtles show up. And, I'm very proud of that work. Funnily enough, there was an episode of the 2003 Ninja Turtles which was kind of similar, but it was about Leo, and I didn't know that at the time. But this happens. That was actually a story for Batman the Animated Series. They had another situation just like that, where they made an episode and found out, oh, hey, the comics did this exact same thing before. So, it happens to us all.
That makes sense, yeah.
But I think that kind of goes to show, too, that, especially if you really dive into the minds of certain characters and stuff, sometimes you're just kind of bound to tread similar paths even if you don't even realize it.
Exactly. when somebody creates something like Eastman and Laird did, sure, that was iterated over time, but they have to give you insight into who these people are and where they go. And then you're going to think, okay, then if he's the angry one, how does it feel when he cares about something? Or how do you deal with that internal trauma? And then you just follow off from there. So I think it is beautiful. You pick up what they're putting down.
Yeah.
Continuing off that, though, to this date, that was about a year ago, I had my first free comic book day signing very recently. I'm very glad people still appreciate that. Thank you.
Ooh, yeah.
And of course, there was MagFest. But let's see. To this day, I'm still working on getting new work in the industry, but on my personal side of things, there is one graphic novel currently under review. I won't say too much about it here. Hopefully, the good news will manifest soon. And then, of course, there's the one I'm working on now, just to keep myself busy, keep myself sharp. But the biggest thing is always taking time to create and talk with other people. To that extent, I'd also want to shout out my friend, Scourge Frontiers, very big Sonic artist in the fan space. They were very good. Topspin the Fuzzy, you might have seen some of her animations too, but she's also been great. We've talked about Sonic, we've talked about other stuff. And then, of course, Frogly Comics. If you know, but they're great.
Yes. No, I love those one-shot collaborations that you've done with them. They're wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Noni did really, really good on the Sage and Shadow one, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, that one is very, very good.
Thank you. It would not be anything without that team coming together, but I definitely wanted to write that one in mind. If I ever get on IDW, wink, wink, I would want to show something I can do that really examines the characters and what they mean. And I felt like there's a natural parallel between these two characters, as Eggman Creations is people who are tied to the family aspect. And even though Shadow doesn't exactly come off family to Robotnik, it's it's still there. So there's still room.
Yeah.
That would mean that Omega's actually his cousin or something. Isn't that crazy?
It's my cousin Omega.
Oh, wow.
The new sitcom, yeah, My Cousin.
Special guest starring Belle the Tinkerer.
Yes.
I can go deeper if I need to. But no, I just it's just really amazing, and the people make it very amazing.
Yeah, I think you're bringing up such a great point that all of these things, and we just can't stop talking about community, but even when you're making a comic book, when you're making an animated film, when you're making a short film, when you're making a video game, there is no way to not be a good collaborator and make a successful project. You have to be a human with the people you are working with, and somebody who's willing to listen and put trust in the space and receive trust back. And
that's trusting with new ideas.
Totally. The better and safer a collaborative space, I just feel like the more your project is going to bloom and flourish, and people who read and receive that can really tell.
Exactly. One of the things I like to say is you put a bit of yourself into all of your work, even if it's not a direct autobiographical thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
One of the things is you're putting your emotions there, you're putting your ideas there, what you think is cool, and it's a nice little confluence of ideas you've received from other people and inspiration in that way too. But sometimes it's just because I got to talk with this other person and they shared this thing I never would have seen before, it got me thinking about this, and now I put that down onto the paper. Now it's this really cool comic or book or picture, and it's it changes the world when you put it out that way. We don't always think about it in that way, but sometimes the smallest actions have the biggest reactions.
Totally.
And I think especially for, people who are looking to get involved in creative spaces in a more professional capacity, and that doesn't even necessarily mean breaking into quote unquote the industry, but if you are someone who is looking to be more active about sharing your work, there is an element of you have to share in kind and encourage in kind and receive in kind, And I think when people talk about like, oh yeah, like you need to have like connections, it's like, you know, it's not just about like, oh, like going up to someone cold and being like, hey, I want to do this thing. Can you help me? It's
Right.
like you have to like it's about making friends. Like making connections really means like you have to like befriend people
Right.
in some capacity, you know, and like show have a genuine interest in their work, and you know, also be willing to put yourself out there a little bit.
Exactly.
But also like like you can get so much more than just like putting your work out there. Like I just think that so many awesome people that you meet that you stay connected with, and it's like, wow, like I get to be a little like thread in someone's story, and I think that's lovely.
Yes,
Yeah.
part of the ties that bind. It's very lovely that way.
I love
Mm-hmm.
love it.
Thank you, thank you. And look at us here, making a beautiful tapestry of words. Oh,
No, I know. That's why it's so
Yes.
special to get to talk. You cannot possibly be a creator who holds every experience a human being can have inside of you. You need
Exactly.
the experiences of other people to round out your perspective, your thoughts, your ability to make something that reaches to people. And their skills, not just their experiences. You can't also be a person who holds
Yes.
every possible skill inside you either. So,
Oh, that's a big thing. Like, going back just a little bit to play off of that, though, like, definitely you need to be willing to share those skills and share that experience with people if you want them to grow. But it's just like, you know, Strawbz had just said, you want to make sure you have a genuine connection with the person, not just this person is the next rung up the ladder, because people are going to tell. You know, when something is inauthentic, it just comes off.
I find especially now people can really tell inauthenticity. Like the younger generation, they
yeah.
know when they're
Mhm.
being sold to.
Exactly. And trust me, people are selling all the damn time right now.
Yes.
It's sad, but like you miss out on so much when you do that too. Like, yes, we're all trying to grow. Maybe you want to be industry, maybe you want to just learn in this field. But if you don't take that time to really know the person, then like, what do you expect? Just, okay, I've gotten what I need from you, I'm done. It's like, that's so soulless.
Yeah. People don't want to be treated like that.
Yeah. One of the things where I would go back is I've had a lot of people I would consider mentors right now within this field. Very recently, Aaliyah Baker's been very kind, sharing her experience creatively on her time with Archie. I understand she's got a lot going on, but she always makes time when I do ask, and I deeply appreciate that. Ian's dropped a little bit of information here and there. I know he's incredibly busy, but the one person who's been my mentor most, I would say, not that it's competition, just out of time, is John Gray, you know, fellow pun enthusiast, food criminal. If you know, you know. But like, he was willing to take time to actually help me. You know, this was after I had got my TMNT piece published, but at the same time, I'm still growing. You don't instantly become a master just because you take your first step into a field. And I wanted to recognize that. He's currently teaching over at SCAD, but like, you know, he also has his history both with Sonic and Disney and his own works like Chip and Walter and Time Trouble. And I took time to actually read those because it's like everyone's going to talk to you about Sonic. And
Right.
I will say this, the fandom is wonderful, but there are certain people in the fandom who do not act wonderful. And that is very saddening. And, you know, I wanted to make sure that he got his flowers for the things that he did himself. And I was really, like, interested in what he did. Naturally, you're going to see the puns, but you can see where it's like Disney ducks and stuff really inspired his style. Or, like, the deeper themes he wants to reach at about family or about, like, the fear of running out of time. And it's very beautiful in that way.
Yeah, totally. I had a friend, I went with her to Y'all West, which is a YA convention that happens totally nonprofit out here on the West Coast. And she, you know, brought a ton of books to get signed by all these authors, and we went to all these talks, and she brought this copy of a book for an author to sign, and she like held it out to him. She was like, I love this one. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is one of my earliest works. Nobody typically reads this when they read my stuff. It's like really cool to see that this one of my earlier works really spoke to you. And then he like gifted her an advanced copy of his upcoming book, and it really meant a lot to him that she knew the deep cuts, the stuff that goes beneath the IP that he was working on, the things like that. It was very cool.
Well, I'm very happy for both of them. That really is amazing. But like, that's what happens when you create something. You never know what's going to touch somebody. And so hopefully a little bit of that makes it back to the creator. And I'm happy it did there.
Yeah, well, I guess just kind of shifting into that, segueing into that, what can you tell us about what's exciting you and the projects that you're currently working on? You know, just tell us. And it can be anything.
Yeah, I've seen the Arisen stuff out there.
Thank you.
Of course, you know, mindful of the NDAs. The NDA police watches us, but
of course, I'd like to continue to work in this town. This town being the internet. But let's see. I think I can share a little something real quick. Let me just go get my handy dandy references.
Ooh. Wow.
So, I'm sorry, audience at home, you guys may not see this, but they get to because they're the hosts and they're very kind.
Oh, yes. Wait. Okay, I saw this on your website. I was reviewing your portfolio, and I was actually looking for this story because it looked so cute.
Yes, this is the Outer Space. This is the one that's currently under review. Two separate people otherwise have said that they really like the way it starts. This is the one that Froglet has worked on. We have a special guest you might know who's also helping with the creation process as it goes into industry, but I'll keep that quiet until anything's finalized. But this is the original concept as we conceived it. Naturally, it's about trying to find, it's about a neurodiverse kid trying to have friends, like if I break it down into the most plain terms, but we took inspiration from things like Earthbound, Stranger Things, Psychonauts, very deep literary sources. But more seriously, though, just the idea of being different and feeling like you don't fit in.
Yeah, it was very compelling, even from the first few pages I saw on your portfolio. I totally got that, and I felt interested and seen by that message from the jump.
Thank you. Like, it's a thing I felt too, but like, it's one of those things where as an adult, I have the room and space to look back without the pressures of being a child and being in school. Yeah. I have adult pressures, but I have more time to process. And one of the things is that, there's nothing wrong with being different. Sometimes that's the most beautiful thing because you'll find somebody who's different in their own way, but you still find a way to connect. It's about appreciating each other and what each of us can do. Now, there's a little bit of magic, psychic stuff going on here to facilitate that. Right. But that's just to keep it interesting, I enjoy it.
Right.
But this is the work that I'm most proud of. I actually worked on this right after I left teaching. For 2023 into 2024, I was an educator, but I decided to step away from that because this was my full-time job, which, it paid much better. I have mixed feelings about that one also just because of the situation. But the thing is, it was just so demanding and, it takes up a lot of time. You have to also take time outside of your teaching schedule, outside of the work hours to come up with curriculum, to do training, things like that. And the decision is, do you want this to be your life or do you want to do the other thing? And I had to be true to myself, But we worked on this, me and Froglet first, and we put so much heart and time into it. And I hope that has shown within the work itself. My sincerest hope is that it reaches an audience, not that it makes $1 million bazillion or becomes the next big thing. It just reaches one person who really cares about it. And that's what this is supposed to be.
Well, I am so excited for it. Genuinely. I can't wait to see more.
I saw it on your portfolio and I tried to go look it up so I could actually read it. And I was like, oh, it's not out yet.
Oh, yeah. Two other people said they wanted it and it's like, gotta wait.
Now 3.
Well, thank you. If you want, and it's okay, you can put up the pages on the portfolio in the video version. I think that'll be fine. I would love to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Great idea.
The other one, Arisan, is right now it's 85. Well, it's an archaic spelling of Arisen. I just did it that way. So, searchability. You have to think about such things.
Totally.
If I just put Arisen into the search bar, I'm not going to get anything but maybe a Bible verse and a dictionary from an AI that's not right.
Right.
But let's see. That one it's a story about a young man who wakes up in the world of the dead, but he's still alive. And the world of the dead is called Douse here. The way it works is that he's been trapped there. He doesn't know how he got there. He has his typical amnesia, but he has a recurring dream about a woman who tells him that she knows who he is and she can get him out, but he has to come to her first. And through that, he befriends different people. You know, spirits take on different forms. You have your basic skeletons, you know, everybody's favorite. And then you have wisps, which are just glowing balls of light. You'll have more ghostly ones, things like that. So it's about the journey. Ultimately, it's also about treasuring life, too. There's a lot of themes from religious symbolism that come in to it, of course. Like, you know, you have the ferryman coin from Charon, if you've seen, like, Greek mythology. The waters are lethal, like, in terms of river leth, where it doesn't kill you, it makes you forget. And, like, your life is composed of memories in a way. Yes, you have a beating heart and you have a mind that functions, but who you are comes from that. And if that fades away, then are you really here?
Yeah.
Things like that. So I would say that this is like a genuine young adult, early adult kind of story. It's going to have your usual anime influence goodness, where they have the special ability called mementos, which are weapons based on memory. Like what you held dearest in life is going to be how your special skill.
That's so cool.
comes.
I love
Thank
that.
you. But we're going to see a lot of different things, I hope. This first chapter is just getting everyone acclimated to the world, the characters, and hopefully it can evolve into a full thing. Scourge Frontiers actually did a preview page for that one, too. Let me see if I can dig that up. Oh, you've seen, then no worries. Yeah, and
it's on Blue Sky. Everybody go look on Blue Sky. Yeah, they did cook.
Exactly. And I hope that they can continue to. I want to make sure that they're compensated, because even though they're a friend, you know, we all got to eat, just like we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of this one. I do hope that it also reaches an audience. This one, I'm going to finish the one-shot first, and if it becomes anything bigger, then we'll see. If not, then I told a very good one-shot that I'm very proud of.
Yep, that's great. Okay,
you.
so you've talked about feeling different and religious symbolism and memories. What other stories do you find yourself drawn to? What other themes do you find yourself, you know, hashing and rehashing? Like, what are the types of stories that you like to tell, Lorenzo?
Well, let's see. Oddly enough, I feel like deserts and water actually come up quite a bit, which is like probably why Desert Rain was one. That one was
deserts
actually
and water.
yeah. Like when you feel like you don't have anything surrounding you, like you feel like it's all gotten to be too much, but that one spot of relief that keeps you going, that's like enough. It's like what keeps you alive, like rain in a desert. But I'm sorry. But, like, I enjoy that. A lot of the time, I'll just circle back to different, like, little ideas, and every now and again, I'll catch myself where it's like, I've already done that, or why am I coming back to this? One of the things I really like is, like, exploring, like, what it means to be alive and how you find purpose within that. Because, you know, there will be people who ascribe, like, hey, you're not living in your purpose, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, but it's like, well, according to who is this purpose, you know? Like, shouldn't you live a life that is satisfactory to you? Like, obviously within moral means, of course, because there's some people who will take one sentence and go all the way in a different direction. Shout outs to Twitter. But at the same time...
I love it. No, I love it. I love trashing Twitter.
Hey. I mean, it is trash, so...
It is trash.
It is.
Blue Sky. Sorry.
I heard the guy who owns it lost a job recently.
Oh, my
Shame.
God.
Maybe he should lose, like, 2 more.
Honestly.
That would be great.
Everybody come to Blue Sky, please.
Yeah.
Get off of that.
Actually, no. Actually, I don't think... My hot take is I don't think everyone needs to come to Blue Sky.
Honestly, so true. No, you're right.
The good people can come. Oh, gosh.
Know, like, I think, you know... the people who really like Twitter should be able to just stay
there
on Twitter.
Yeah.
And
fine.
the people who want peace can come to Blue Sky.
Dude, the piece on Blue Sky is so real. We're getting
For
off
real.
topic, but
Oh,
anyway.
it's all good.
Who
Like
cares?
that's part of community though. Like, yeah, not everyone will be there, but in an environment where people aren't trying to farm engagement to be upset.
Totally.
And we still get a little bit of that on Blue Sky, I won't pretend, but people are better about not sharing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That creates a better ground to have actual conversation with people. You're not as distracted by pettiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't have a fandom without an internet space. And so I just got the Twitter internet space is so non-conducive to actual connection and the consumption of like beautiful ethical art anymore. I just can't.
For real.
Can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also just think too that like it just kind of reminds me of, you know, people who everyone wants to be heard, I think.
Mhm.
And I think the culture on Twitter a little bit can be like, oh, like I am really trying to be heard, and it's all these like clickbait hot takes. You know, and it's just like, well, like, do I actually, like, this is gonna sound so mean, but like sometimes you have to, you know, to protect your peace, and not every single person is worth interacting with or spending your energy on, especially like if it's just, if what they're sharing is making you feel like upset, you know, like I think feed yourself, and sometimes feeding yourself means just like stepping away from like the chaos.
Exactly. Control that chaos.
Chaos. Control.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, we're talking about your favorite themes and stories.
Exactly. Let's see. But finding meaning, finding purpose is a big one. I relate to that. I found my purpose in writing. I do genuinely feel like, one, it's something I'm really good at, but also something I find fulfilling, because it's like when you create something and you find that joy, it just makes life that much easier. But it's also just that beautiful connection point with people. I really like having those characters who like will go through a coming of age journey where you see them dealing with these hardships for the first time, because it's a good way to explore how a person deals with difficulty. Like in fiction and in life, you learn something about someone by how they will tackle a problem. If somebody is just going to quit and like not look for another solution, it's like, okay, they don't look for answers. If they decide to ask somebody else, it's like, okay, they have a bit of humility. These are just examples, not the whole scope. But you learn about people, you learn about yourself, and you learn who you can trust and rely on too, which is a very big thing. That it just, you know, they say art imitates life. Sometimes life imitates art, but they're all part of the same thing, you know?
Right. Totally. Strawbz, real quick, I want to turn the question to you too, actually. Like, what do you like to write about? What do you find your themes and reoccurring characters?
I'm sure you have
tend
a
to be?
few tales to tell us.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm going to make a compilation video of every single pun Lorenzo's done in this episode alone.
Oh my god.
I hope y'all enjoy the short.
I don't know if the compilation video will be as long as the compilation of all the times you've doxed me.
I've been so good recently. I've been so
You
good.
have.
And in fact, at the top of this episode, twice I almost called you your name, and I did not. Twice. It almost happened, but it didn't.
I am
We're
so
breaking the
proud of
records.
you,
Me too.
my shining star.
Thank you so much.
I'll say this friendship is very beautiful. So
Oh
I'm
my
happy I get to
god,
witness
a
it.
2-for-1.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh,
Hi, Dad. I'm
lovely. You're a
Lorenzo.
delight. No, you're a delight.
Thank you.
I don't know. I guess I've really, and I completely blame Songbird's melody for this. I've really enjoyed writing the chaotics. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I think melody just like makes it so fun. And again, I think it goes back to being inspired by other people, because like when I like started reaching new heights, it honestly like it was such a big like coping mechanism story. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna like just take it and see where it goes. And I'm so serious. I was not writing for any sort of like fame or notoriety. Like I was just like, I have like something to share and I'm just gonna put it out there, and whoever reads it, like I just hope they're nice about it. But then like when I started talking with Mel, that was like shortly after when I decided to throw the chaotics into the story, because I wasn't even sure if I was going to put them in there at first. And like I was like, wait, this is like really fucking fun.
Is it like the character archetypes that like speak to you, or like the dynamics?
So. Yeah, I think I just love a good silly team,
Who doesn't love a silly team?
I love them.
Yeah, like just like a group of like eclectic personalities.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. I think I have kind of, at least like back in the day when I did like text-based roleplay, like, I would get into like some of the gritty stuff. That's like fun, and that's still something that I want to touch on, like, a little bit of seriousness, but I kind of just love keeping it light. I like to be silly. That's me.
Yep.
I don't think that's
crazy.
News to anyone.
Shocking. No, I'm shocked. Breaking news. Breaking news here on the pod.
Yeah.
Like the chaotic, well, to go off of my relationship with the chaotics, yes, we're very close. You guys should know. They're my best buddies. I'm in the back of that cutscene. You don't see me, but I'm there.
Oh.
But the main thing, like, I do love their eclecticness because I feel like that's part of it. Like, even their name, yes, they were in, like, Knuckles and Chaotix, but the different vibes they each bring kind of, they are out of sync. They do that even within their return in the modern era, but they somehow make it work, and I think that's really charming. Like, Espio's the stealthy one. He's the easiest to work with. You see that in just how often he'll appear in media compared to the others. But Vector, as the team dad and, like, as the person who just keeps them together in a responsible way, is really good. Like, he's your usual bumbling detective, but he knows how to do his job in the side media if you really look. Especially if you look back at, a certain case of the missing princess from the Archie days, deep cut, but also in the modern media too. And it's it's very cool to see how they work together and how people bring that passion to them. One character I think like really has benefited from the passage of time is Charmy. Like, he's in the same camp as Big, where people were just very mean to that character early on, and they didn't seem to get a lot of respect. But with the passage of time, it's like, yeah, he's a little hyperactive, but he brings a lot of heart. He makes observations that the other two wouldn't. And it's just like a meaningfulness to that dynamic that I think is very cool. So it's like each one has so many different things you can explore, but together, like, you feel their family like energy. And I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah. I agree. I also think that, like, Charmy was Gen Alpha before Gen Alpha even was alive.
Charmy's an iPad kid. I have actually been like very excited about like I am writing my next chapter. It's coming.
Oh boy.
Wait, that is breaking news. That's real breaking news. Next chapter being written.
It's like it's slow. It's listen, it'll come when it's ready.
Yeah, of course.
But I've been having like fun with it because like
good.
I kind of have this team of like Shadow, Tails, and Charmy together, and it's very amusing.
Wait, I love that.
This will be interesting.
Like,
yeah.
I think I've just been having fun of like, just like shove random people together and see how it works.
Well, I feel like it's so fun. People love to put like Shadow with Cream because like she's really sweet and he has a history of like, having great relationships with like these young, hopeful girls in a way that inspires him to be a little bit more hopeful himself. But like, what happens when you put him with somebody who also has that childlike sense of wonder and whimsy, but is Charmy B instead?
Oh my! It is legitimately really funny, actually.
I love it. I can't wait.
I can't wait to read it.
I also think I think I like writing Charmy because he's such a little shit.
He's so funny.
And I think maybe I just like being a little shit with people.
Okay, a new theme emerges that she likes to play with. All this talk just to get to the heart of what she really likes to do, which is be a little shit.
Yeah, you got me there.
A regular bee in the bonnet, eh?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll buzz off with these ones.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
How's that compilation looking?
Oh my god. It's so funny. I'd never expect the second one. You do the first one, I'm like, yep, he got it. And then you'll do another second one right off. I'm like, dang, I should have seen that one coming. Takes me off guard every time.
I'll hold my commentary there because I got a really good one for that. But like, thank you so much. I'll just type it down.
Yeah, Blue Sky it out, tweet it out. What do we call the things that we do on Blue Sky?
I can tell you the name people say, but I'm not sure if everyone in the audience wants to hear that.
I don't know if I've ever heard it. What do they say?
Oh, they say skeets.
Oh, really?
Skeet?
Some people push back on that because of the obvious connotations of that word, but like at the same time, it's like you're gonna have to come up with another idea.
Sky tweets, got it.
Exactly, Sky tweets, that works. Like they're not even calling Twitter anymore, so it's like why let them have that word? Actually, I might call it Sky tweets now, so thank you. But just put it out there. 2 words, a little longer, but a little bit more staying power. One of the things I was going to say, just to jump off of what Strawbz had said, was like the different dynamics of the characters is honestly like one of the most fun things. Like I don't think I talked too much about when I did fan pieces. Like I did talk about the Sage and Shadow one, but I always think about like how the games are usually so focused on Sonic or the mission that we don't get time to see how all these different characters interact so much, which is why I love the comics and the side media. And that's what I try to explore like a lot of the time. Like for a piece I just shared here, naturally you guys aren't going to have time to read it. It was actually Knuckles and Zavok that I did one with. Knuckles is also news I come back to a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah, part of that was because, Knuckles in a lot of pieces is like when he's not being portrayed as gullible or a little bit not as sharp as he should be. One of the things is that, he's a warrior. He's the last of the Echidna people. Then you can dig into the fact that in Adventure they made the Echidnas a very warlike people. Like only Tikal was really against it, at least so far as we saw. And that's like perfect room to contrast against the Zeti, where if you really take the Zeti seriously, like say Ian did in the IDW stuff, one of the things is, yeah, they were enslaved by Eggman for a little bit, which is very not cool of Eggy. But one of the things is also just like they are warlike people too. There seem to be very few of them. That's rife room for some contrast. I don't think we would have ever gotten that because of the era they came in, where it was more gag-oriented, and the focus was so firmly on Sonic and Tails alone. But it's like, there's room to contrast this. It's like, hey, there are 2 kinds of quote-unquote dying people here. One's obviously trying to use his strength for good. He's very isolated. The other one is part of a group, but he's more domineering. They're both the strong red guy. So it's like, there's room to play with that a little bit, and hopefully I was able to do that. The other one was actually Knuckles and Silver, because a lot of Knuckles' ties is based on ancient past that he barely knows, like so long ago. Whereas Silver's from a distant future where he knows about the past, but he's lost everything in that time. Though we've gone back and forth on whether or not the future was saved by him, if that's even his future, all that. We'll let the fans speculate. But one of the things is that, I wanted to play on the idea of Knuckles, like, having regret for when he was tricked by Eggman back in the original games. And one of the worst things you see is actually those firebots that you fight really early on. They are bombing the place. Angel Island is on fire. It's horrible. There are a bunch of them, actually, so the implications are horrible.
Right.
And it's like, I would feel like terrible if it's like, yeah, I trusted Eggman and he burned my land like to bits.
Fully, deforested the entire island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Destroyed a whole ecosystem.
Exactly, all those little animals. And then there's the fact that Silver's actually like very nature oriented and newer stuff, so I thought that was very neat, especially when you dig into how big and lush Angel Island is. It's like there's room to play with that. A person from the future who had nothing to lose, a person who's from the present with ties to the past, trying to preserve what he has. And there's room to interplay those characters, especially when you think about forces and how Knuckles was somehow the general of the resistance. And it's like, there's room. And I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
I feel like in Forces, though, like, Knuckles kind of just, had everyone go guns a-blazing, and then it went poorly.
Yeah. Operation Big Wave was a huge wipeout. That was terrible.
My gosh.
I don't think the role worked for him, like, especially given his characterization. Like, maybe you can make it work if you really explore it, but I feel like he should have been more a frontliner and somebody else should have been leading. But that's the decision they went with. All I can do is respect it and say my opinion, which is my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, actually, B, because I feel like you, at least for right now, for what was stolen, like, you're in this, like it's outside of the universe, but with the themes that you like to write, I know you're about that romance life, but do you feel like there have been other themes that have come up while you've written What Was Stolen or other fics that you're like, oh my gosh, like,
yeah. No, I know what I like. I know what I like, and what I like is angry women. I find myself typically, those are my main characters, just like women who are angry, and maybe they're coming from a place where they haven't been able to express it. Maybe they're dying to like rattle a whole system out of complacency. Maybe they just need to break a plate. But like, I write Amy, some of my original characters are extremely angry people. Like the D&D character I'm playing right now is like an anarchist head of a punk band who just hates everything.
Based.
And then, my other fic that I just published totally randomly on the side is about Courtney from Total Drama Island, who is, one of the angriest women out there. I love when women are angry, and I love to explore their anger with them.
Don't cross B, Lorenzo.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I think I find it so compelling, is my anger is something that I know I have within me, but I find really hard to get in touch with. I think that has a lot to do with, my specific upbringing and also being a woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that really compelling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like complicated parent dynamics. I find fascinating to dive into, like, you should be the first person who loved me, but somehow there's something keeping us from doing that in a way that feels genuine. What else? There was something else I was thinking of. Obviously, romance. I just love all types of love. I feel like love is such a transcendent thing from all angles. Platonic. Like, I think even in What Was Stolen, like, I'm trying to depict so many levels of love between siblings, between, Amy and Shadow, who are like lifelong friends, between Amy and the people who support her, ways that she's missing transcendent love from people who should be able to give it freely, like her dad. Yeah, that's my answer.
It's a very beautiful one.
Be all about love.
Yeah, love and anger. Love and anger.
Yay. Both valid emotions.
Passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We probably have time for maybe one or two more questions and a tarot reading. If you're interested in a tarot reading, Lorenzo, you don't have to be, but it is a service we offer here at the parlor.
Yes.
We'll see if that's in the cards.
God damn it. God damn it. It's so easy.
Well, if there was a test on puns, I'd ace it. Different set of cards, but
Yeah, no, it works. It works.
Thank you. Just don't deck me for making more puns.
Jesus Christ. It's so easy for you. I'm like truly impressed.
Oh my
I'm
God.
Thank you. Well, will you give me a hand when it comes to the tarot cards?
God damn. We have to cut him off. We have to cut him off. It's an addiction.
Zip.
Strawbz, is there any questions in our pile or anything that came up while we were talking? You know, your last one or two burning questions?
Well, I guess, to kind of round it out, like, we've kind of touched on the rockiness of being a creative, but, also in finding community. Like, is there any advice that you would give to anyone that wants to start creating that maybe we haven't just touched on yet?
If I had to say something, it would be start from a place of love. And if not love, then maybe anger, but something that moves you. If you feel a certain way about something, like, I'm not satisfied with how this story was done, or, nobody's making the thing that I want to see out there, then this is the time for you to pick up that pen, whether it's to write, whether it's to draw, maybe a chisel so you can sculpt, but any kind of medium, just create that thing in your mind. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be great. It just has to be out there. And you do need to have patience with finding your audience, but be insistent, not in a way you're bothering people, but like with putting yourself out there, because the work will be seen by the right audience ready to receive it. And you can grow with them if you are willing. That would be my thought there.
Aw, that is
a great
beautiful.
thought. That is beautiful.
Genuinely. Create from love and also love your works.
Yeah, totally. Oh, you have to love your works. You have to.
Exactly.
If you aren't gonna love your works, who in
Then
the
who will?
hell else is gonna love your works?
Yeah.
Let's try to make that work. I have a question that's not as inspiring as that. But for my last question. It's I just want to know, Lorenzo, about your process and your optimal working conditions, and also if you ever have any trouble finishing anything. Like, how do you make yourself keep going and do the work? How do you maintain consistency?
By optimal working conditions, we mean, do you listen to music while you write?
Or do you not? Yeah.
I do listen to music. Very recently, a good friend of mine suggested Doechii to me, and
Doechii
she's been very good. Yeah.
I've been on the Doechii train. I love her.
She's very, very good. You know what? Honestly, she doesn't get her flowers enough.
No,
this actually dovetails. This dovetails into something that B had said earlier, actually. But I'm not gonna overtalk. One of the things is it's not my place, but it is my place to listen and receive, and I'm happy to be here to listen. One of the things, though, is for sure, like, making that space for people to create just because they deserve to be heard. But, like, going with that, I'll listen to music. She's one of the people on the playlist. Sometimes it'll be, like, a little bit of jazz, lo-fi, stuff like that, or different, like, R&B and hip-hop stuff. But I'll have that. I'll usually have a drink nearby. I'll just make sure that I'm at my computer. I'll do my best to log out of side stuff just so I'm not distracted, because there's always something. But sitting down and getting into that state where it's like, usually for me, I will think about the character or the scenario that I'm most drawn to and get there. Sometimes I will hit a wall or I'll get tired, and maybe it'll take a day or two. But when I feel like, okay, I've been away from this for a while and I really need to get back, if I gave my most honest answer, it's ambition, because it's like, I'll see somebody I really respect or somebody who's my friend making something, and that'll be like, man, I see they're out here giving it their all, and I just want to make sure that I do the same here too, because we're out here trying to keep each other up.
Yeah.
And it's that way where you can love and appreciate what somebody else is doing and feel like, hey, I want to do something that's similar to that. And hopefully everyone appreciates it together. So that's me there.
Love it.
Yay.
So true.
Thank you.
So true. Wow. Okay. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our interview portion. Obviously, we're still going to chat and scat, continue to be girly pops on Maine with Lorenzo. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Do you have, while we sort of get our cards out and switch to this tarot portion of our evening, something you're thinking about or something you need a little guidance on? Is there anything prompt-wise coming to mind?
Let's see, guidance-wise. I guess it would have to go back to the conversation about trying to move forward creatively in a world that's hostile to creativity sometimes, especially within the industry angle. I'm still working on finding new avenues to get my work out there, both for myself and maybe future IP work. I do have one lead on something, but it's just a wink and a nod right now. Yeah, I'm really happy. But it's always good to have more. So if there's anything there, I'm ready to listen.
Right. You simply have to have so many plates spinning
Yeah.
at any given time to have even one project going.
Exactly. And if more comes, then that's just an additional problem.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha. Strawbz, do you want to do the poll or shall I? And also we're thinking 2, 3, 4. 2 is Lorenzo. Say if any of this speaks to you. So 2 cards is a more card and a less card. I need more of this and less of this. 3 cards is a past, present, future poll, and then 4 cards is a journey poll, which is sort of the inciting incident, the prophecy, the obstacle, and the destination. So if you're looking for like a map or a guidebook.
Well, you said the word book and you said journey. So
Yeah,
that's my kryptonite.
I know.
So
I hear
4, please. Yeah. Aw, shucks. Are you sure little me counts?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Quite the hero.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Strawbz,
Y'all are too kind.
You want to do the poll or shall I?
Yeah, I will do the poll. I have the cards right here. So
Incredible.
we are pulling for 4 cards, and Lorenzo, what you're going to do is, I'll just say I'm getting ready to pull the next card. You just tell me when to stop, and I will stop and pull the card out. So we'll do that total 4 times. All right. So card number 1. Let me know when you're feeling it. Get in touch with the tarot energy.
Righty. 3, 2, 1, pull.
All right, that's card 1.
Down.
Yay. Card counting, if you will.
Illegal.
Ah, darn it.
Tails be like that.
Indeed. Let's see. And pull, please.
All right, that's card number 2. Card 3. Oh, my water almost fell.
Oh, no.
All right, we're good. Card 3, whenever you're ready.
Alrighty. 3, 2, 1, pull.
Okay. And our last one.
Eek.
Now, Tails did come up earlier, and I know he's banned from Casino Night Zone for his gambling. So in honor of him, I will do 1, 2, and pull.
Oh.
All right.
I love the headcanon that Tails is a gambling.
That's not a headcanon. That's real.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
That's real. It's from Team Sonic Racing.
Oh my god. So goofy.
He's full of surprises.
This kid is a menace.
1, 2, let's go.
All right, we have our 4 cards. I'm so excited to
Thank you.
flip them.
Let's see.
Our first card. Ooh, okay. Our first card is a dark draw, 5 of fire. And that's got the Sonic and Shadow Chow. And we'll send you a picture. We'll send you a picture, Lorenzo.
Awesome.
The second one. Ooh, this is really cool. We're unlocking new cards, you guys.
Yeah.
It is a hero draw, and it's the time card.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. So the second card is the prophecy card. This is your tool or fortune that will help you along the way. So how interesting.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Our third card, interesting. It is a dark draw, 10 of rings. It's got the Chow from the Chow Garden, the little old man Chow.
Oh, from like the daycare section in SAT.
Yes. Yeah. And then our final card. Ooh, this is really cool.
Oh boy.
The final card is a hero draw, and it's a 7 of water.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
And
oh my gosh, this is a really fascinating pull.
Yeah.
Wonder what it means.
While we're reading and downloading your fortune, Lorenzo, you mentioned Scrapnik Island as something really pivotal for you, and we've talked about IDW. What are your favorite pieces of Sonic media? Like, what are the things you just go back to and go back to and go back to?
Oh. Let's see. I'm going to have to do the thing where my first exposure was, of course, Sat AM. So, like, that was a very specific understanding of Sonic's character. This was around the same time Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog came on. Mm-hmm. But the one that stuck with me the most is probably the one that most people hate, which was Sonic Underground.
No, how can you hate Underground? How can you hate it? It's so goofy. It's so fun.
It is. Like,
I love that you love that.
Yeah, it was just so fun. I know people have complained about Sonia and Manic, about the music and singing, but it was interesting. It was this nice little middle ground between the more dour, like, feeling of Sat AM and then, like, the goofiness of Adventure. And I felt like that was the nice middle spot that I gravitated towards. Plus, Knuckles was there, so that was cool. It would have been nice if Tails had also made it, but I do understand having siblings for Sonic did make it a bit overstuffed. But people do love the theme song.
Yeah, they sure do.
Next, I would say Sonic X, because that was like, wow, it's Sonic, but anime. And I was a little kid, so it was a perfect time for me to receive that kind of thing. I think parts of it were really good. Parts of it I'm not the biggest fan of, but like I always love seeing the ideas people bring to it and just what they really love.
I remember for Sonic X, actually, so I did watch a little bit of it on TV, but I remember there was like a point where someone like uploaded like all the episodes on YouTube, like in 3 parts, like how they did back in the day.
You can marathon it sometime, if it's still
yeah.
there. But let's see. That, of course, aged away. If I was talking about other pieces of media I really love within the series, of course, the Sonic CD opening. I saw that in the collection game that came out on the GameCube, and it captivated me because of just how the animation looked. It was only later that most people got to play CD, and it was fun for itself, but, the animation is really what took me. Naturally, there's the OVA, which, cool ideas. You can see who was influenced by that also. But... it's just these different pieces of things people bring into Sonic that really make it stand out. Like, not to be too on the nose, but one could make an argument Surge, who's probably one of the best new Sonic characters to date, has a little bit of influence from a certain other green character from the Archie era. Though she's gone in her own direction, I do think she's a very fun character with actually a ton of room to explore in a very unique way. I really hope we get that someday. But, like, I love bits and bobs from all over, Oh, wait. There's one. I was in high school at the time, and it was when I really, really started paying attention to Archie. It was a cover for Sonic Universe, and Shadow was there with Omega and Gamma, and as a kid I was like, Gamma, he's still alive? But he was dead in the games. And that instantly caught me because it was like, I wonder how these two characters are going to interact. And this was teeing up the formation of Team Dark within the Archie comics. But it was really nice to see something that wouldn't be possible otherwise, like Gamma and Shadow interacting, or even Gamma and Omega interacting, and I thought that was so cool. So, like, Ian and Tracy Yardley really brought something amazing to me into that. People will sometimes riff on Archie for not being on point, and there are some decisions I don't agree with, but a lot of those creators really brought their heart into it, and they did things that were unique that you'll never see in the games, and I feel like the games need to be their thing. The side media needs to be able to tell its own takes and stories.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. I'm seeing things, Strawbz. Are you seeing things? Are you seeing what I'm seeing in this crystal ball?
I'm seeing things, but I want to know what you see.
Okay, you want me to start?
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay, I think this is a super cool spread, very varied, and I think it's going to be a reiteration of a lot of things you already know, Lorenzo. I mean, you're a working professional, you know these things. I think there's a really interesting story being told in the suits. That's, fire, rings, water, that the element associated with these cards. And so starting with the 5 of fire in your your inciting incident position. This is where we're starting, the starting point. It's talking about peace. You know, maybe I get the sense that you're an extremely peaceful person. You're a person who likes to make peace. This card is saying maybe things already got heated and, you know, you're trying to find a way to be civil with people, but I don't think that's true. I feel like this card is telling us that you're a person who acts from a desire to keep the peace, to help people thrive, to maintain and foster a space. But the fire suit is reminding us that even in that, you are in a competitive industry, and don't forget to always back yourself and bring the drive, the resilience, and the persistence as well. You can be a peaceful person, but in order to start in the space, you must also be willing to go to bat for yourself every time, and then continue to do so until it happens. For the Prophecy or the Fortune, this is a really great card. It's also a tough card. First of all, beautiful card. This is the time card in the hero draw. And I think this card speaks for itself. Everything happens in its own time, especially the industry. And there have been so many opportunities and things I've lost out on, things that I've been up for. It's truly all about timing. And the best thing that you can do is just be prepared for when the timing is right. So it's just paying attention to yourself, doing the work that you can in the present. And then the prophecy, the fortune, the tool that you have on your side is that as long as you keep doing the work and asserting yourself in the space, the timing will be right for you. It will.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the obstacle. The obstacle is a very interesting card, and the first thing that makes it interesting to me is that the suit is the suit of rings, which is the suit of materialism, wealth, health, those sort of tangible physical things that we're talking about. And that's just always going to be an obstacle for a creator because, again, our interests, our lifestyles, the things that we trade in just do not have the same value as money.
In capitalism.
Exactly. And the people who dish it out. And so it doesn't shock me that there's a ring suit in the obstacle position at all. This is the dark draw 10 of rings. And it's also just reminding us that this work and opportunities come and go so fast. And the nature of the beast is to have those plates spinning. It says, everything is great right now, but don't forget to think about tomorrow. Do you have what you need for the long haul? And it's just true because you can be on a project, you can be freelancing on a project, but you do have to think about what comes next always. It's
Very
a lot
true.
to juggle. It's a lot to handle. But the reason why we have to do it is to make sure that we are provided for physically in our lives.
Let's see. The one thing I was going to say, I was listening and as you were speaking, I was thinking about something I heard once where it's like, art is priceless, so they try to tell us it's worthless. And that's how it often feels. Now, I'll try to be ready for the long haul. I just got to stretch so I am a long haul. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, I'm ready for the last one. Thank you.
So the last card is the water suit, which is about your dreams, your emotions, the things like intangible within you that you want to hold on to, embrace and show the world. And this card is about dreaming. Absolutely. The destination should always be, I think, as a creative, your ability to dream and to think freely. And so in the midst of all of these other things to consider, to make sure you're provided for, to make sure you're backing yourself, to let time do its thing, the destination, of course, is always going to be your own unique thought process, your own unique thing that you want to make. This says this card is maybe you're looking for purpose, but I don't think that's true. I think that you are just, always have to remind yourself that at the end of the day, the reason why you do something is because you have something to say and only you can say it.
Exactly.
Strawbz, hit us.
I think what I really love about these polls is that I just think there is a morsel of truth that not only is for Lorenzo, but it could be for anyone who is listening. It is so tough, I think, especially right now, to be a creative and to feel like, things in the broader industry, in like the world, feels like that they're working against you. But I think from what I see in this spread is that like your voice really truly matters, and like generative AI really can't take it away from you.
Nope.
Again, like what you said about timing, it is about just like investing in yourself, but knowing that like things can change, like from I don't know, I think I just see this as like a big culmination of like all of the wonderful things and themes that we've talked about today, where it's like it's hard, but we look to community to feed our souls, feed ourselves, you know, and you just never know like where you're going to end up, but like truly like you have to like believe in all good things for yourself. And I don't know, I just think I love how the cards kind of in a way just like wrap up the things that we hold true to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say this. You two are a pair of cards, and I'm happy to be in this fold. But thank you so much for this reading. And one thing I'd want to say, if I'm allowed to chime into the audience.
Yeah.
Thank you both. The one thing I'd want to say, definitely just going off of what they said, definitely you want to make sure that you also stick up for yourself and your voice, no matter what it is, whether or not you're a creator or somebody who just enjoys things. If you have a cause or people who are important to you, now more than ever, be there for them, support them however you can, financially, emotionally, things like that. But remember that being together and being with other people are the things that make life meaningful, at least in my opinion.
Dang.
And if you do that, then we'll have a richer world no matter what.
Love that.
Yeah.
Gosh. What an incredible way to end this incredible interview. Lorenzo, I cannot thank you enough for coming onto this pod and sharing your wisdom. You are so inspiring. I can imagine that the students who you touch, like we're a great educator and a great, font of wisdom. So thank you for sharing that.
We are so happy that we got to have you and talk to you. And we wish you all the best.
Yes.
In your future endeavors. Keep us updated.
Oh, and please tell the people where they can find you on Blue Sky and things like that.
All right. On Blue Sky, you can find me at, my handle is just lorenzohall.com, which I actually have a website called lorenzohall.com where it's still under construction a bit. You can see a few of my works in progress. You can see a little bit of my history. That's a good place to start. There are a couple of my works that are out, aside from the short story that I did with Gigi Dutre in TMNT Black, White, and Green #1, Flame That Fuels You. There are my original works, which are Desert Rain by Lorenzo Hall and Dragon's Domain, also by Lorenzo Hall. Those are 2 novels, or my first efforts. I'm still growing, so if they're not perfect, please excuse me, but I can say I put my heart into it, and I hope to return to that field and many others soon when it comes to writing. There are no limits with words, so, I'll just limit my words now. Sorry.
Hell no. Yeah. Look, we have the most wonderful guests. I was like telling you this before we got on the call, but I'm like, we have the best guests ever.
Just in all.
And thank you for being part of our little podcast story, a little thread in that. We really do appreciate it.
Hey, it's no worries. Well, you know what? All this talking has made me hungry. You know that pizza place next to the KNGI Detective Agency?
Yeah.
I've heard great reviews. I might go by and get me a slice.
Yeah, it's a chain, so I you can trust it. You can trust it. Yeah, please go indulge in a slice, as you should.
Indeed.
Well deserved for espousing so much incredible wisdom to our audience. And anything else to say, Strawbz, before we say what we always say at the end of every episode of The Bee and the Berry?
No, except for what we always say at the end of The Bee and the Berry. It may not be canon, but it is correct. Ciao!
Well, now I'm gonna see if that pizza place makes a lot of dough.